No reference beside me, no mirror to check. The path narrows naturally when intent is direct. I don't compete for space, I occupy a presence for when action commits. Singular, unreplaced. No scale applied, value sharpens when it isn't tried. Singular, define. Unshared. The base stays exact, the frame stays true. Nothing imitates what only works once. When the set is finished, no applause required. What stood alone remains required. There was never a moment of announcement, no marker placed, no signal sent. Something aligned quietly before I understood why. It didn't ask for confirmation. It settled. The intention doesn't surface often. It stays below 5 below urgency. I don't rehearse it, I don't reinforce it. It persists without attention. More movements follows, but isn't questioned. Your attention holds because it was never debated. Pressure passes through, not into. Noise fades quicker when the center is set. I don't explain this pace, it isn't slow, it isn't fast, it's inevitable. The rhythm causing incest, it remains in competition. The forms of was decided long ago. When the set is finished, nothing feels revealed, but something untouched continues. Exactly where it was. there was never. The noise outside keeps shifting every day, but the position inside my chest stays fixed, like weight settled perfectly on the frame. Never sliding, never searching for balance again. Voices change direction with every passing trend. People chase approval like oxygen, yet my rhythm holds its own pattern, repeating movements that never ask permission. Some days resistance feels heavier than planned. Breathing shortens muscles, question intent, but commitment doesn't negotiate under pressure. It simply adjusts and continues forward. There are moments when shortcuts look tempting, when stopping early sounds reasonable. Yeah, discipline grows exactly in those seconds where excuses begin forming in the mind. The body learns stability through repetition, not through motivation or sudden inspiration. And the mind slowly accepts discomfort as part of the environment, not an obstacle. Each return to the same motion sharpens awareness. Every controlled lift erases hesitation until persistence becomes automatic and effort feels like natural posture. Nothing dramatic proves this change occurred. No sudden breakthrough announces progress. Only the quiet accumulation of consistency, building strength nobody notices immediately. Even when fatigue spreads through every movement, direction remains locked ahead, because the decision was made long before, and it doesn't need to be reconsidered now. When the final repetition settles into silence and breath slowly returns to normal, the intention that started everything still stands exactly where it began. Morning light slips quietly through the city glass, touching streets still empty from the night before. Somewhere far beyond the concrete skyline, the wind keeps moving exactly as it always has. People wake and step into repeating schedules, carry ambitions that change with every season. Yet the rhythm outside these crowded intersections continues without hurry or expectation. Leaves turn slowly without needing permission. Clouds reshape without announcing intention. And somewhere between motion and stillness, we move forward thinking we are in control. Breathing settles as the body finds momentum, feet striking pavement in steady repetition, while thoughts drift outward beyond the noise, following patterns older than memory. And nothing in nature competes for attention. It simply exists in quiet transformation, teaching patience through gradual change that escapes notice until suddenly visible. The wind brushes past tired shoulders, reminding movement to stay fluid, while effort unfolds in cycles, much like seasons passing without resistance. Sound fades into distant echoes beyond focus, leaving only motion and measured endurance, until even pressure feels temporary. Another passing shift in atmosphere, when the final step slows into stillness and evening air replaces the heat of effort. The same sky watches silently above changed by the struggles beneath it. And somewhere between exhaustion and clarity, the mind settles into simple awareness, understanding that progress, like nature, moves steadily without needing applause. Whoa. The situation shifts before anyone speaks. An instant already adjusts the angle. Light movement correcting mid-motion without interrupting the rhythm already in place. There's no visible pause between pressure and response, only awareness sliding quietly into action, as if time in itself bends slightly to match decisions made in a fraction of a second. The body learns patterns long before thought catches up, reacting through repetition stored in muscle memory. Each motion refined by countless attempts that shapes reflex into something reliable. Unexpected resistance appears without warning, yet balance returns almost immediately, because attention never fully leaves the present even while effort pushes forward. Nothing feels improvised in the moment, though nothing was planned in advance. Just clarity meeting motion at the right instant, allowing progress to continue without hesitation. Breathing adapts to sudden changes in pace. Weight redistributes before instability spreads, and the frame holds together, naturally guided by experience hidden beneath awareness. The rhythm stays flexible without losing direction, absorbing small disturbances without collapse, until adjustment becomes indistinguishable from the original movement itself. Test reaction speed again and again, yet composure responds without urgency, transforming uncertainty into controlled momentum that never fully stops or overreaches. When the final repetition fades into stillness, nothing dramatic marks the correction, only the quiet proof that adaptation works and motion continue without losing shape. The ground gave way without warning. What I built didn't stay upright. Momentum snapped, timing slipped, nothing felt aligned. I didn't stop there, I adjusted the stance, changed how weight was carried, not how far it moved. Some failures don't look dramatic, they feel repetitive, same wall, different angle again. I learned to fall shorter, I learned to rise quieter, not stronger at once, just more accurate. still here, not untouched, not restored, but moving. I remember the first decision before context piled on. It wasn't dramatic, just clear. The reason didn't expand, it stayed narrow. Everything else grew noisy around it. I didn't revise the goal, I revised the path, direction stayed intact while methods adapted. Doubt arrived in fragments, never all at once. I acknowledged each one, then continued. What mattered early still matters now, not because it's old, because it's alive. Consistency isn't stubbornness, it's selective memory. I keep what was chosen before distraction learned my name. The rhythm doesn't drift, it recenters. Every return feels familiar, not forced. When the set finishes, nothing feels completed, but the starting line is still visible and still correct. Nothing new feels unfamiliar. I've been through this before. Pressure changes form, but the response stays sure. No rush in emotion, no wasted breath. Experience settles where panic left. Season exact. I don't chase intensity, I manage it. Energy lasts longer when it's allocated. Each movement remembers what worked and what didn't. Efficiency grows when mistakes are finished. Seasoned calm, the rhythm doesn't surprise me, it confirms. Patterns repeat until control is earned. I don't argue resistance, I use it. Momentum built when friction is measured. Season steady. base stays grounded, the frame stays clean. Nothing exaggerated, nothing unseen. When the set is finished, no victory pose remains, just quiet certainty. The noise that filled the room a moment ago fades somewhere beyond attention, leaving only breath and motion, moving in a quiet, uninterrupted line. Nothing pushes forward aggressively now, yet nothing slows down either, as if momentum continues on its own, no longer needing force to exist. Each repetition settles into clean precision, muscle memory guiding motion without conflict, until effort feels detached from emotion and action unfolds without resistance. Thoughts that once interrupted time and lose their urgency and drift away, allowing the body to complete each movement without distraction or hesitation. Another element passing through, accepted and redirected without struggle. The rhythm becomes almost transparent, steady enough to disappear into awareness, so motion carries forward naturally without demanding attention to sustain it. Settles in a stillness and sound slowly returns around the room. The calm that formed during motion remains untouched and undisturbed. I don't wait for conditions to align. I decide, then alignment follows. The first move isn't loud, it's accurate. Direction locks in before resistance reacts. There's no rehearsal here, the moment opens once. What's placed early defines the rest. I don't chase momentum, I create slope. After the angle is set, everything rolls. Adjustment becomes unnecessary when the phrase not faster at the end. I'm earlier at the start. The body doesn't ask how much is left. It moves because it was told to. Muscle answers before thought finishes. Breath adjusts, form holds, something scrapes inside and stays.